Welcome back to Mona's World of Tarot. We are going to dive into another intuitive tarot-led coaching session. I'm going to drink some water, then we are going to play the sound bowls, and then we're going to pray. Stay hydrated, friends. All right, beautiful people. Let's go ahead and dive into our prayer. Angels, ancestors, high source of light, we are here before you today to do another tarot-led life coaching session. Source, I want to thank you for being present in my life. I thank you for this gift. I thank you for allowing me to be an extension of you, the creator, the ancestors, the angels, all those who came before me, and those who have yet to come after me. By way of this gift, I ask that you bless the eyes, ears, minds, hearts, bodies, and souls of all of the listeners, the ones who are engaging in this reading here today. Bless them to ensure that they are able to take away at least one key piece of advice. Touch us all, bless us all, keep us safe as we lift the veil between the two realms. These things we pray, Ashe and Amen. Let's go ahead and get started. I don't know what we're going to talk about today. Last time I kind of had an idea and the cards confirmed, but this time I'm just going to go with it, friends. Okay. And I think last time we pulled the Knight of Swords as well, but we have the Ace of Cups, the Magician, the Six of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. So I think what we're going to talk about here today, beautiful friends, is the power that you hold and how sometimes our upbringings and childhoods and previous experiences can prevent us from moving full force ahead toward our goals and being as ambitious as we would like. That is the message that I am getting here. I'm gonna pull one affirmation card and then we will go ahead and get started. So I attract success flipped over in a full circle in the affirmation deck, but the affirmation too, because one of them just floated itself up to get out of the deck. Today I choose me and my worth is not dependent on action. So with the amount of cups cards that we have present, and again, it's all about intuition. We have to go on what we feel. And I have my beautiful Heal Yourself shirt on today. I feel that for a lot of us, and when I say for a lot of us, I feel especially everybody, that's all I got, that many of us are at a point in our lives currently where we are trying to conjure up new love, trying to conjure up new experiences, trying to conjure up new ways of being. But what tends to happen is we fall back on some of the experiences from our childhood, and it can cause us to stay stagnant or mistake what we are experiencing or what we are going through as something that we either shouldn't be doing or that we are not allowed to do. I will go ahead and just speak from my own personal experiences to give a little bit of background, and then we will build on that. So even in the Six of Cups energy and the Knight of Swords, which did pop out in the reverse position, my childhood was very different. I like to start out by saying what I'm sure most of us would say. I love my mother. I love her dearly, but we had a very difficult experience growing up because of her own experiences with her upbringing And then in return, I had some experiences with my upbringing and things that I didn't share with her, such as the amount of childhood I guess we're not supposed, trigger warning, I don't know, but the childhood abuse that I experienced at the hands of my grandmother's husband, and this happened for a long time. But what ended up happening to me as a result of that was a lot of times I would be receiving different experiences in my life. And based on the things that I learned from a very early age up into my teenage years, and then, of course, my adult years, a lot of things that I believed to be love or loving experiences or loving connections were not that in my life. And I ended up choosing other people over myself a lot. But growing up with a lot of different types of childhood abuse, like many of us have experienced, and some of you may not even be aware of at this time, you tend to not be so sure of yourself. You spend so much time having to please other adults as you were growing up, that when it was time for you to be in a situation in adulthood where you needed to choose yourself and make the best decisions from a place of pure love and from a place of being in the energy of a magician and knowing how capable you are of manifesting those things into your life, you're very confused about your abilities. My mom said a number of things to me growing up that it wasn't until I was in my mid-20s that I started to work out through shadow work, and also through therapy, and also through embarking on a spiritual journey. But I know that there are some people who will never be as fortunate in their lifetimes to actually work through those things and let them go. So, beautiful people, my advice to you in this tarot-led life coaching session is to start to identify some of those things that you have experienced growing up and beyond, some of the things that you have been carrying with you from your childhood, and also from some relationships that maybe did not serve and hold your best interests, and for you to figure out how to move forward. It is when we are able to identify the things that don't serve our highest good that we are able to then replace them with other things. It's really hard, like, growing up and believing things to be one way. One of the things that I learned from my therapist is that it is between the ages of 4 and 8 that we pick up the majority of our beliefs. We gain our understanding of life and how that is supposed to function, how we are supposed to connect with other individuals, and the types of relationships that we should be curating in our lives. And then to take that a step further, if you experienced any sort of, like, maybe I'm supposed to bleep the word out, I don't know, I'll do some research before I actually post the video, but if you've experienced any sexual trauma or significant traumatic experiences in your childhood, sometimes, more often than not, and you can look up the scientific studies behind this, but they've been done, you end up being stuck in a mindset of being that age. So for me, stuck in the mindset of like an 8-year-old for a long time, like well into my 20s, with how I made decisions, the way I would throw tantrums. I still do from time to time, but we are all human and consistently growing on a continuous basis. It's nothing to feel bad or ashamed about. But imagine like operating from the place of your scarred self as a child, and then even thinking a little further about the amount of scarring that you experienced at that time. And then once you imagine that, I want you guys to start thinking about your life as it is currently. What do you have before you? What is it that your wildest dreams would have hoped for you to have attained? What do you wish your relationships looked like with your friends, your family, your coworkers, your spouse, your children, all of the relationships around you? And I want you to compare and contrast what it is that you currently have, and what it is that you would have liked to have. And then in the middle, you have to reason with what your upbringing was like. And again, these cards that we are looking at here, even the Knight of Swords being in reversed, you will find more likely than not, if you are being very honest and open and upfront with yourself, that you're frozen in a place and time that you should not be. Your current time is now. I know I'm almost 30, and I know that the majority of my audience across space and time is either in their late 20s or somewhere between there and their 60s. We're not little kids, and we should not be living our lives from that place of fear or that place of emotional bondage, is the word that comes to mind, that we experienced when we were children going through shit. So you will have to figure out how you want to do the work. I have a number of recommendations. You can try shadow work. Number one is therapy. Therapy is, it's so important. Even if you find yourself doing shadow work, and even if you went about doing all of the number of things that I have tried and done over the course of the last 6 years on my spiritual journey, and you leave out therapy, going to therapy after doing all of that is still going to open your mind, your heart, and your soul up to a new realm of possibilities through the eyes of an objective third party, to help you move forward. So, friends, shadow work, journaling, therapy, therapy. Um, Replacing the people that you are currently surrounded with more positive people. It was my husband who asked the question, or phrased the shadow work question. I don't know where he got it from, I don't remember, but the question was, how many positive people do you have in your life? And that is a question that I want each and every one of you to ask yourself, especially again looking at all of the cards that I have here before me in this moment. How many positive people are you surrounded by? And I know that for the majority of people, the answer will be probably none or one. And when you are thinking about positive people, I'm not talking about like toxic positivity. People are, life is so great and nothing ever goes wrong, and all you need to do is believe and everything will figure itself out. Like, not that type of positive, but positive people, people that are consistently making strides to move forward, people that hold themselves accountable, people that hold you accountable, people that that you see establishing boundaries in their life and standing on them, like people that are consistently making strides to make their lives better, people who are sharing knowledge with you. Like, that is what I mean when I say positive. People that are actually doing things that are going to have a lasting impact on their lives, and you are seeing that, or you can tap into that energy. So how many positive people do you have in your life? And if your answer is anywhere from 0 to 5, and you have more than 5 people in your life, or more than one person in your life, you need to then reevaluate the relationships that you have with the people that are around you. Make sure that you're not staying connected or tethered to any people that you grew up with. We've been friends for 15 years. It's okay that Susie talks to me that way. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's my daddy. It's all right that the only time he calls me is when he wants to borrow money, and he calls me stupid and calls me out of my name. No, it's not. None of those things are acceptable in your life, and you deserve to choose you, and you deserve to be in relationship with people, places, and things that are going to make you feel fulfilled. You deserve to have connections in your life that are like loves and relationships, and I'm not just talking romantic, friends, um, even your relationships with your kids. Like, all of those things should feel like gifts from God, with the way that they pour into you the same way that you pour into them. And if they're not, you need to do some evaluating and moving around in your life. Um, you should be consistently moving forward. You should be consistently changing. You should see life just little by little. And sometimes it's a lot by a lot, but it's not always that way. But little by little, transforming and changing and building. And if it's not, that means that there are people, places, and things that you are tethered to that you need to release and move forward from. So, yes, how many positive people do you have in your life? And from there, go forward. What types of limiting beliefs are you still holding on to from your childhood? I am 29. I was, shit, 27, 28 before I finally like uncovered in a therapy session that the reason why I always felt ugly growing up was because I didn't feel loved when I was a kid. That's wild. Like, to live so much of your life feeling ugly, feeling unattractive, feeling unworthy. And like, this is something I really believed with my eyeballs. I couldn't look at myself. I couldn't stand in a mirror for too long. I can remember being 25 and like standing in the bathroom, absolutely bawling my fucking eyes out because I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror, because it was such a painful thing to look at such an ugly person and know it was me. And upon realizing and unpacking, and this was just in my second session in therapy, so 2 weeks, upon unpacking that in therapy, that I didn't like, you don't think you're ugly, you think you're unlovable. And then going from there and continuing to learn on a much deeper level that I was lovable, I was worthy, I was beautiful, I was capable, and there was nothing wrong with me growing up as a child. There was something wrong with all of the adults that were around me, the way that they were grooming for their own sexual desires, for their own emotionally or physically abusive needs, the way that they were abandoning, the way that my grandmother would try to make me feel like my teeth were too big and I needed to be skinnier and I needed to be this and I needed to be that. That didn't have shit to do with me. And upon learning those things and really untethering myself from those experiences, and it wasn't easy, it wasn't overnight, it didn't just happen in 2 weeks. I've been in therapy for going on 2 years. It's a consistent journey. I've been journeying on my own for 6. It's a consistent journey. But over time, like, I've been able to watch my life flourish and watch my abilities unfold. I'm looking at myself in the camera right now. I feel very beautiful. My eyebrows are done. I have on eyelashes, but my skin, that's moisturizer. Never, 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 never. If you had told me 6 years ago, 5 years ago, you'll get on camera and you'll record a video and you're not gonna have on any foundation and you're not gonna have on this and that and blah 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 and put on a wig and yada yada yada, never would I have believed that. It's possible, and not just from a physical perspective, but from a mental perspective, from like on a soul level, to like I said, release yourself from those things and move forward. But you gotta work, friends. So like I said, the message that I see here in these cards on today for this particular tarot-led life coaching session is that there are all of y'all, because all of us could release some things and heal some things and let go of some things and move forward from some things. It's time to let go of the experiences that you've had growing up, the people that you are remaining tethered to because emotionally you feel some sort of a long-term connection, and so on and so forth, and for you to move forward. So we're going to pull an oracle card, and then we are going to wrap this up until next time, beautiful people. So we have benefactor, grace, and generosity. Grace and generosity, gifts, support, mentoring. When the benefactor weaves her energy into your life, you're put on notice that all manner of positive reinforcement is coming your way. The universe wants to let you know that just as you have been generous with others, serving with your gifts even in the smallest capacity, so will you be rewarded in myriad ways. The most beautiful gift the benefactor gives you is the recognition that you are stewarding and sharing abundance on behalf of a higher source, one that is always working through you. The motives for her generosity to you, as well as yours to others, are intangible. Although you will see the results reflected in the material world, the benefactor reminds you that in the purity of your desire to share without the need for reciprocity, that paradoxically, your initial generosity is reciprocated tenfold, seemingly without any connection to the original act. Dream sharing and carrying into being, and you will be amazed to see this vibrant seed take root and spread. Do it just because, and the benefactor will give you her blessings. That was a lot of words, y'all. Now, fortunately for me, I know these words, but I ended up giggling while I was reading, so I'm just like, damn, those are some words. The whole purpose of this is, one, make sure that you are not pouring that beautiful, graceful, loving energy, it's 2222 on the camera, into people who don't deserve and can't reciprocate. I'm not saying that you can't love people. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, you don't want to waste your time pouring into empty vessels that are not going to pour back into you. And two, I want you to make sure that you are spreading love, you're spreading positivity, you are spreading joy. I try to compliment and bless people anytime that I can, because I know what it feels like to not feel good about yourself, to not have people speak life into you. And that was a tough time. So I know how I am capable of seeing the good and the beauty in people. And I want you, beautiful people, to make sure that you are doing the same for others. The benefactor card, that grace and generosity, if you pour that love and generosity and support into others, it is going to pour back into you. But do it just because. That is all, beautiful people. Thank you for joining me again on Mona's World of Tarot for another tarot-led life coaching session. It's been real, and I will see you next time.